Hey there, folks. How's it going? That's a little bit of a challenge of a banjo lick for you. That's one that I heard Bela Fleck play when he was in a band called Tasty Licks on an album called Anchor to the Shore. On the first track of that record, Blue Days, Black Nights, during the banjo solo, Bela plays that lick. And it's definitely a little bit of a challenging lick. It's a little unconventional if you're familiar with mainly the Scruggs style language, but it's really practical. It works great over a G, D, G, or 1-5-1 turnaround, which is something you'll find in countless bluegrass songs. So even if you might not want to use this all the time for, the purpose of being tasteful, you're always going to find some opportunity to use it if you'd like to. And so I am going to break down this lick and show you how to play it. But first, just listen to it in context in a song like 9-Pound Hammer. So, as I said, definitely outside of what you might consider the classic Scruggs style language, but people have been playing things outside the Scruggs style language from the moment anybody tried to sound like Earl. So, no reason to get skittish about it now. If you want to learn this, we are going to go over it slowly, but I should tell you a little bit about the lick that's going to help you understand the phrasing and therefore understand why it sounds the way it does. Part of it is interesting because of the melodic quality. There's some dissonance going on in the chromaticism between the notes. You'll notice every time we're doing something like this, there's a lot of places where we're playing notes that are right next to each other, 1 fret apart or 1/2 step apart, either because it's in the scale or in the key, or it's outside of that. And either way, it's going to create that dissonance, right? Plenty of instances like that. So melodically, that's kind of what's going on. Of course, you can think about how we're going from a G to a D, back to a G. That's part of what makes this lick sound the way it does. But to me, the most interesting part about this is the rhythm. And that's an interesting thing to say considering it's just a constant stream of notes. What do you mean rhythm? It's just all eighth notes, right? Well, it's not the rhythm of the notes, it's the rhythm of the phrases. Because in a lot of instances, the licks that we play might be made up of little phrases or little pieces of 2 or 4 or 8 notes, right? But in this case, it's broken up into some uneven lengths of phrase. So in this lick, instead of hearing it as 4 groups of 4 notes, which would total 16 total notes before we get to the end, I'm hearing 2 groups of 6 and 1 group of 4. It all equals 16 notes, but it seems like the small phrases we're playing within the lick are confined to those groups instead of groups of 4. So now I'll break it down into those sections, and I bet you can learn it just watching and listening. But if you want the tablature for this lick, or for that example of 9-Pound Hammer with the lick, then you can get that at patreon.com/Eli Gilbert Banjo. I'll leave a link in the description where you can find that. But otherwise, here is that lick broken up into each of the small phrases. All right, so that is the lick. Hope that worked out for you. If you're still having trouble with that, you may want to take a closer look at the exact fingerings I'm using on the left and right hand. In some case, that sort of thing is left up to your own preference, but in this case, stopping and starting in the wrong place, either left or right hand, can really trip you up. So it might just be worth another look. In any case, that's going to do it for now. So check out Patreon if you're interested in the tablature for anything in this video or any of my videos. And let me know if there's any other licks like this that you've heard that you think I might not have heard, or that you just like a deeper understanding of. That's something I'd like to check out as well. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.